We're ranking the worst tiny, annoying injuries.
Welcome to Good Mythical More.
Yes, yes, yes. Tiny, annoying injuries. Like paper cuts. This is like the poster child for little annoying injuries. We are going to rank the worst of the worst. Paper cut, it's amazing how much a paper cut can hurt.
It's really, really, really bad right when it happens. And then it can be kind of annoying for a while.
Yeah, because then you're sticking your hand and, like you're trying to, you dropped your wedding ring and down in your vodka.
Happens all the time.
So you gotta pull that out. Whoops, I gotta get that out of my vodka.
And it stings and you remember that it happened.
And then it stings and you remember it happened.
But is it an immediate curse loudly, yell type of injury?
It's it gives me that visceral,
I know.
internal cringe feeling thinking about that injury. Like, ugh, like, you know what I'm talking about? Like that.
Yes, because
It's not great.
Because you've sliced through flesh and you just know that something's gonna ooze out, and it just makes me so peaked feeling. And the worst thing about it is that you're blindsided because there was no knife around. If you're
Just
chopping
paper.
something and you cut yourself, you got this nasty feeling of, I've created a ditch in my skin with this sharp thing. And I should have known better, but then when you're just handling papers, you're not ready to be slitted.
So would you rather be like cut with a little pocket knife or paper cutted?
I'd rather be cut with a pocket knife. I'm more ready for it. If I have a pocket knife, I feel like I'm more ready for it.
Like if somebody said, I'm going to use this little pocket knife to torture you, or I'm gonna use this filing cabinet full of paper to torture you, I think I'd choose the pocket knife.
I might choose the paper in that case.
But right now it's the worst thing that sunburn now.
What you think about this?
Hey, listen, sunburns,
Sunburn.
while it's happening, you're having the time of your life. You don't know that it's happening, you're having the time of your life. And
That's
then if
a good
it's
point.
bad enough, it disrupts sleep. It affects you for days. You can't receive a hug. I mean, a paper cut is horrible at first, and then there's some moments of unpleasantness. But sunburn, good God, man.
I've had such bad sunburn. Whew. And it's just,
And then it starts peeling.
I've gotten physically sick from having such bad sunburn.
Yes,
Like-
sun poisoning, they call that.
Yeah.
So really the question here, philosophically, is a really acute, high amplitude injury versus an annoying injury that lasts for days. I think the net effect of a sunburn
Is
is
worse.
worse than a paper cut.
I also think you should take into account the amount of guilt and shame you feel.
Yes, because it's only your fault,
Exactly.
right? Paper cut's not necessarily your fault. Sunburn is like, you knew you were going to the lake.
Completely preventable.
You idiot.
And don't go giving me that story of you never heard of a sunburn before.
You know what? And it's not just the personal shame,
I'm not buying that.
It's you are ridiculed by other people and it's deserved. Like, so Shepard came back from a day at the beach with his friends. He's a 17-year-old boy, almost a man,
Going to the beach.
going to the beach, and he's sunburned like you wouldn't believe. And do I have sympathy or am I angry at him? I'm angry at him,
I think you're angry.
as I'm a good dad should
Maybe
be.
disappointed too.
I'm disappointed. I'm like, Shepard, you know better than this. So you get punished and humiliated by your parents. And if he came home with a bunch of paper cuts, I would be like, oh, let me see it.
It's like,
Let me see. How did that happen? Tell me more.
Yeah.
I didn't want to know anything about his sunburn day.
When were you around paper?
You need to curtail
I'm
your
proud of you,
your
son.
scrapbooking.
You've been touching
son.
paper again.
Bring in one from over there at random.
Okay, so
Let's see
at
what we
random, we've got
Don't put it there.
eyelash in the eye. Okay.
Well, that's annoying. It's all fun and games until you're determined to get this thing out.
And you can't.
And you just pushing it deep into the eye ditch.
If you get it all the way behind the eye, though, it's fine.
What? Yeah, if you push it behind it, it's kind of like putting dirty clothes under your bed.
It's like that woman that had like 17 contacts
Oh,
in her eye, and they kept pulling them out.
bring
You
her
seen that
up.
one?
Completely preventable.
But not this. Eyelash in the eye isn't preventable.
What's behind? I mean, can you push something all the way into the back of your eyeball? And then, is that where your brain is?
No, you don't know what's behind your eyeball is a little man who, when
With a squeegee?
well, no. So what happens is your eye sees something, and he sees it on a little projector, and then he turns around and tells your brain what it is. And that's why sometimes you don't see exactly what you think you see.
Oh.
Because sometimes the little man lies.
But you have to, and when you blink, the eyes roll to the back of the head, and they transmit it to the guy. That's why we blink so much.
Right.
Is it one guy or is there a guy behind?
There's well, actually, some people have one guy, and he goes back and forth between the two eyes real quick.
It's like an
And some
FAA
people have a guy on
situation.
each. And some people have girls back
Yeah,
there.
yeah. I have a woman in my left eye, and she's too smart.
What
to
you
do the
want
work.
is a woman in one eye and a man in the other eye. You want a nice balance, but not everybody gets that. Jesus had that.
This is fine. This is not
This
a
is
big deal.
pretty low on our list.
This makes me think we should have had a Orby in the ear. Anybody else remember
Yes,
that?
we should have, because that was a bad time for you.
That was annoying, especially because it wasn't.
It
in
wasn't
there.
even in there. It never was actually in there.
I don't like the picture associated with this one.
Because it makes you think about how bad this hurts.
Stubbing toe on furniture.
This is real bad.
Oh, these are some finger toes.
Yeah.
These remind me of what I got going on.
Yeah,
This
about to
is
say.
this
Look at
is
that.
long.
And I don't like the gap that's happening right here.
That's enough for another toe right there.
Like, come on, just push those together next time. I
Well,
know it's healthy
You know
to have
what?
a gap.
That's actually, the gap is for the little man that lives on your toes that tells the big toe what the little toe did.
Okay.
And he goes in between each. He's very small though.
Little toe got hit. Little toe's down.
Yeah.
We got to go back for little toe.
And if you have one of those guys and he has to get from your right foot to your left foot, that's a real problem for him, because he has to go all the way up the leg, cross your genitalia, and go back down to the other leg.
What did Jesus have?
He had a man on one foot and a woman on the other. Yeah,
Right.
of course. It's perfect.
This is horrible. This is so much worse than a paper cut. You don't feel, I mean, the sunburn being your own fault is going to be hard to
Here's
beat.
how to know which one's worse. If I told you that you have to do one of these to yourself today. So this afternoon you got to pick a time to stub your toe, or you got to go get sunburn.
I would stub my toe because it's over. But it lasts longer. Oh, well, I mean, we got to get into, like, this is where it
Because
needs
you
to
got
be.
aloe for this.
And nothing you can do for this.
The stubbing of the toe
So
gives
bad.
me the same internal physical
So bad.
cringe that the paper cut does, but on another level. The
Yes.
sunburn is painful for a sustained period of time, but you don't get that like
Yeah.
"Ugh,"
As long as you
like,
don't move.
"Ugh," you know.
I know, and you're sitting there, you've stubbed your toe, you've got that initial signal, and then it gets worse. It hurts worse.
Yeah.
And then you're just kind
you
of
get sick at your
you're kind of standing there. Oh man.
And then you have to look at it because there's a moment if you stub it real hard. There's a moment where you're like,
Is it gonna
is
be-
it is yeah?
Is it gonna
Is
be
it a limp toe?
sideways?
I don't know.
Did I
Is
break
it
it?
purple?
Did I lose it?
Did I
Did I
break
lose
it?
the nail?
Is it gone entirely?
It takes skin.
Have you seen those people that strengthen their shins, like those martial arts people on TikTok who like find ways to like swing things down from ropes into their shins?
Not.
Have you seen this?
I understand, but they strengthen the different parts of their body. That
I guess what I'm
strike
getting
with,
at
yeah.
is you could stub your toe every day until you don't even feel it. You could paper cut yourself every day.
No, because you could always lose a toe. The toes are the testicles of the feet.
Well, that's true. I'm not going to argue with that.
Stepping on a Lego, classic. This is a pain of the modern era. You know, back in the Renaissance, they didn't worry about this.
Right.
They
They
were
had
stepping-
other stuff.
They were stepping on paintbrushes and
Glass.
and glass,
Blown glass.
blown glass.
Um,
Now we got to step on Legos. Not as bad as a.
this is
stubbing of
pretty
the toe.
awful, but rarely, if ever, a serious thing.
And I don't think it's worse than a paper cut because a paper cut involves blood.
Yeah, you got skin breakage.
And so stepping on a Lego, not that bad. Not that bad.
In the scheme of things. Okay.
What about getting your pocket caught on a doorknob? So I was walking in my house and I was walking with a lot of intent and my pocket got caught on a doorknob.
Yeah.
And I was just I was like stopped in my tracks, like walking, whoa, like that. And I literally, my pants were caught on the door.
But it didn't hurt.
It didn't hurt. It scared me.
So I would say that would be.
I mean, because I walked past this door thousands of times and it's never reached out and grabbed me. To have the door do that was very scary.
But it was probably better than all of these options. Unless it puts a hole in your pants. It didn't rip your pants.
Well, I wasn't saying it's worse than these.
Well,
but I'm
seemed
saying
like you were trying to.
It should be on the list.
You were raising the issue. Brain freeze. If you talk about sustained pain, like if all of a sudden you had the worst brain freeze and you were like, you got to have this for 5 minutes, you might just want to
It's not that bad, dude. It hurts, but.
The peak of brain freeze for 5 minutes?
How long does it actually
But
last?
it
I was
doesn't-
going to ask, how long have you actually had a brain freeze for?
Seconds.
Like, yeah.
So that's why I think it's pretty low.
I think it's like 5 seconds.
I think it's pretty low.
It's like a wasabi or horseradish burn
Yeah.
amount of time.
You know that it's going to end.
When you know it's gonna end.
Knowing that it's going to end is very, very helpful.
But the stubbing the toe, where are we at over here?
Stubbing the toe is
You
number
know
2
that's
right
gonna end, but it's so bad, and there's so many different things.
I mean, right
In
now we got
terms of personal
sunburns.
shame, though, you usually have a brain freeze or a wasabi situation in front of other people, and so
Yeah. You knew you had a milkshake.
But it's not embarrassing.
No, well, it depends on the face.
And you're
that
supposed to
you
grab the back of your neck, and you're supposed to put your tongue on the roof of your mouth.
And if you're with the right group of people, you can let them know you're having brain freeze. But if you're in a business meeting, you can't let them know.
Yeah.
If you're in an ice cream social
you have
business
to have
meeting,
a complete isolated experience, brain freeze, and you're just like, that's right, Chuck. What just happened to you?
I vote nay.
You had a town council meeting? You get brain freeze, you bring your milkshake to the town council meeting?
You don't do that. We got one more hiding over here. Biting tongue,
ooh.
inside
Oh!
of cheek. Oh my God!
Now we got somebody here has a lot of experience with this.
I have a quota, apparently. I think I've been like cursed by some sort of demon that I have to bite my tongue once every 2.5 weeks.
It's just a game of chance, my friend.
And then I gotta bite my cheek once every 2 months.
You probably bite your tongue at the same frequency that the average person does per bite, but you choose so many times that you up your odds, and so you just end up doing it more often.
I've bitten every part of my tongue. Like, there have been times when my molars have bit the back of my tongue.
When was the last time you did it?
Like a week and a half ago, I'm due.
I
This
bit my
happens-
tongue so hard at a
Maybe
restaurant
yearly?
once that I went into the bathroom and passed out.
It's
be-
awful.
I believe it.
And there's
you were
there's
bleeding?
lasting effect here.
Bleeding, and also, you know how when something's swollen in your mouth, your brain processes it as like being a lot bigger than it actually is. So I bit it so hard, it started bleeding, and then it swelled immediately, and I was like, I don't know, my tongue's gonna just clog up my whole body. I might as well pass out right now.
Yeah, because your tongue guy got too excited when he sent the message. He was like, I don't know how big this thing's gonna get. I'm gonna go to the brain and say it's really big, and that made you passed out. Your tongue guy let you down.
This is the worst one because it hurts so bad. And your mouth does that thing when you bite your tongue where it's like, don't move anything. So it's like, and then like your whole mouth like opens and freezes. And so it won't happen again immediately.
This says a lot about how bad you must do this, because I do this maybe once a year, twice a year, and it's really bad, but I'm not chewing so intensely. It just like, oh crap, that, and then literally a minute later I forget about it.
I've thought I've severed my tongue at certain points.
Your tongue?
And you're in front of everybody. Like the worst part is being in so much pain and like your face being frozen, you're like,
Could you bite your tongue in a business meeting?
and I'm sure I have. And then there's like, everybody's talking and you know you got this dumb, I bit the inside of my mouth face. It's just,
There's a lot
it's
of
not
shame.
a good look.
It's a lot of shame.
It's not a good look.
There's a lot of shame. 'Cause it seems pretty
that's the
presentable.
worst. That's the worst for me, dude.
You ever bitten your tongue while you had a sunburn?
Probably.
Did you know that you're not supposed to rub your eyes?
Yeah, I saw the MRI
God.
of what happens to your eyes
It's
when
like
you're rubbing
the
them.
worst news.
What? Like
Yeah,
it pushes them in?
It does something bad to you know
It
you know how
crushes the
good
man
it
and the
feels to
woman.
rub your eyes and sometimes you just get caught in that like oh god I'm gonna rub my eyes. It's bad. It's
Yeah.
really
It
bad
crushes
for
the
you.
man and the woman.
The
yeah.
man and the woman suffocate for a little bit if you keep going too hard. And then you're left with one. That's how you get down to one. You rub one too hard and they suffocate back there. And now you got a woman or a man back there just trying to do double duty.
Right. And mourning the loss of the other one.
Yeah, because they are romantically attached.
Mm-hmm.
When you sleep and you close your eyes, REM, they're moving around. That's because they're having sex back
Yeah.
there behind your eyes.
And then when you blow your nose,
They hold hands.
You think that lesbians have straight eye members?
Your eye people
question.
have no relation to your sexual orientation.
Okay.
Yeah.
they're symbiotes.
You know, this is probably a good time to tell you that both of my eye people are women, and yes, they are in a lesbian relationship. Give a gift, get a gift at Mythical. Buy merch and get 10% off all Mythical Society, or join Mythical Society and get 10% off merch for a limited time. Shop now.